Okay, so let's unpack this. Imagine a place, right? Really sacred, steeped in mystery, believed to be the actual home of gods hidden deep inside the earth. Today, we're doing a deep dive into Patal Bhuvneshwar. It's this really enigmatic cave temple. It's tucked away in the Himalayan hills, Pithoragarh district in Uttarakhand. And it's pretty high up, about 1,350 meters, which is nearly 4,430 feet above sea level.
Yeah, and for this dive, we've got a really solid source document. It's quite amazing, actually, how much detail there is focused just on this one single, spiritual spot.
Right. So our goal today is to really explore what makes this place so fascinating for you. We'll look at its spiritual core, its unique geology. We're aiming to pull out the most important bits about Patal Bhuvneshwar, its religious meaning, the cool features, the legends, and yeah, even some practical stuff if you're curious. So let's start where the source does, really, with the spiritual heart of Patal Bhuvneshwar. It's mainly dedicated to Lord Shiva. What does the source say about that connection? How deep does it go?
Well, it's definitely more than just a dedication. The belief, the profound belief, is that Lord Shiva actually lives here, resides here with his ganas, his attendants. So it's seen as his actual dwelling, not just a temple. And what's really fascinating is the scale, the sheer scale of divinity they associate with this one cave. It's believed that 33
Yes,
core,
Core. Wow.
yeah, which is 330 million gods and goddesses are believed to reside right there in that cave.
That number. It really gives you a sense of the vastness, doesn't it? 330 million deities.
Yeah.
What does that tell us about how divinity is viewed there? Like everything is sacred.
Exactly. It points to this cosmology where divinity isn't just a few main figures, but it permeates everything. And, this isn't some recent idea. The source points out it's mentioned way back in the Skanda Purana, one of the major ancient Hindu texts. So that immediately ties this physical place to ancient scripture, cementing its importance over centuries.
So, yeah, not just folklore, but deeply embedded in religious history. Okay, now let's talk about actually going inside. The source makes it sound like quite an experience. It mentions navigating narrow, often slippery stairs. And the cave itself is about 160 meters long and 90 feet deep, so you're really going down into the earth.
You really are. And once you're inside, it gets even more unique. You find these incredible natural rock formations. But the captivating thing is they aren't just seen as geological quirks. People widely believe they actually resemble various gods and goddesses. That definitely adds to the mystical feeling. Connecting it back, it's not just a cave. It's almost like a natural gallery of the divine.
A natural gallery of the divine. I like that.
Yeah, it shows how ancient cultures didn't just, build holy places. They found them in nature, seeing significance in the landscape itself.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this is where the source got really interesting for me. Imagining seeing these shapes that echo the old stories. It lists specific examples, like a formation resembling the face of Kal Bhairav that's a fierce form of Shiva, and the shape of Sheshnag, the divine serpent. Others look like an elephant, a cow, and naturally a shivling, the symbol of Shiva.
It's like the myths are carved right into the stone, isn't it? And speaking of myths, the source talks about a really interesting legend about how the cave was, revealed. The belief is that a king, King Rituparna, was the first to visit and then told people about its mysteries, bringing it out of hiding, so to speak.
And linked to that, there's this really powerful belief that there's a path, a hidden path maybe, starting in this cave that goes all the way to Patalok, the netherworld, right?
Exactly, the netherworld or a lower realm in Hindu cosmology, which, raises a big question. What does it really mean for a spot on Earth to be seen as a gateway to another dimension? It suggests a worldview where the physical and the mythical aren't strictly separate, that places like this are connection points.
Points of access.
Yeah, maybe to spiritual truths or even other planes. And that belief feeds directly into the name Patal Bhuvneshwar. Patel hints at that link to the lower realms. It really underlines its mythical depth.
Patal Lok. Wow, okay, that adds a whole other layer. Now, for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, I need to see this, let's switch to the practical side.
Yeah.
What did the source say about getting there?
Right. So if you're planning a trip, the nearest big town is Almora. That's about 90 kilometers away. For trains, the closest station is Kathgodam. And if you're flying, Patnagar Airport is the nearest one.
Good to know. And the source mentioned some important rules for visiting, didn't it? things people need to be aware of. Like, you can only enter the cave with guidance from the priests there. That makes sense, for safety and respect. And also no photography inside. Strictly prohibited.
Absolutely. And that's crucial. It's not just about, arbitrary rules. It's about respecting a very delicate environment, and an environment that holds immense spiritual weight. The source really emphasizes that the area is environmentally sensitive. Preserving it is key.
For future generations, yeah. Makes perfect sense. So the clear message from the source is that Patal Bhuvneshwar is definitely a must-visit if you're into spirituality, mystery, or just incredible natural wonders. Sounds pretty unique. So yeah, Patal Bhuvneshwar, it really seems to be this amazing blend of natural beauty, deep spiritual belief, and ancient stories. A sacred, mysterious cave temple hidden away in the Himalayas, kind of calling out to people looking for something different.
It really makes you think, though, when a natural place like a cave gets so deeply woven into these spiritual stories, what does that tell us about, the human need to find meaning, find the divine in the world around us? And how do these places keep hold of their power for centuries, drawing people in without needing, modern tech or flashy displays?
Those are really powerful thoughts. It does make you reflect, doesn't it? How these ancient beliefs, these connections to the earth itself, they just persist. And they keep shaping how we see places, even now in our super fast-paced world. It makes you wonder about that ongoing human search for something sacred right here on our planet.